Welcome back to Dr. Chao's YouTube channel. This is Dr. Chao from Howard County Board of Education. In this channel, I'm going to interview our high school graduates who graduated from Howard County Public School System. I want them to share their experience, their achievement, their challenge, and their advice for our incoming high school students. This YouTube channel will focus on student voice and student experience. I hope this interview will help our parents, students to navigate their high school life. Today, we're going to interview Mr. Caio Goolsby, who graduated from Centennial High School. He will join University of Maryland College Park. His major is International Relations and Economics. Welcome, Caio. Can you have a self-introduction?
Thank you so much, Dr. Wu. I really appreciate you having me on. Yes, I'm Caio Goolsby. I was born in Brazil, and I'm a Brazilian migrant to the United States. I moved to Howard County 7 or 8 years ago when I was in the 5th grade. And like you said, I graduated from Centennial High School just this June. And I'm now enrolled at the University of Maryland as a Banneker Key Scholar in their International Relations and Economics departments.
Okay, thank you very much, Caio. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me. So you mentioned a scholarship, right? Is it Banneker Scholarship?
Banneker Key, yes.
Okay, I remember that. So congratulations for the scholarship.
Thank you very much.
It's a very prestigious scholarship at the University of Maryland. My first question for you, what was your biggest challenge in your senior year? How do you overcome that?
My biggest challenge in the senior year, like everyone else who has had to deal with it, has to be the COVID-19 pandemic. Being forced to live at home, remove contact with all of my friends, and basically living 24/7 outside of my small bedroom, it has been a very big change of pace for me. And it's been difficult to deal with emotionally and physically. But one other thing that comes with it has been the online learning experience provided by the HCPSS. Most notably has been the transition period, which was a long time. We had almost a month without education, without any real guidance. And even though we still had APs and standardized testing coming up, and that was very difficult, being forced to learn on your own and study without the support system that the school has provided you in the past was a challenge. However, just getting up every day and forcing myself to sit down, to read, and to go over material has been the way I just got through it, just day by day, 1 foot forward.
Thanks for sharing that. I believe everybody feels it has been a challenge for the last 6 months at least, right? And especially for our students who probably not independent enough to be on their own and then navigate through so much uncertainty over the last several months. So what was your biggest challenge in your whole high school life? How do you overcome that?
The biggest challenge has to be, from my particular experience, has to be staying healthy. Being forced to juggle everything from academics to your social life to family life to extracurriculars is a challenge, is a very big challenge, especially in HCPSS, where there is a culture of academic excellence unlike anywhere else that I've seen, that you are expected to take a large, heavy course load and you're expected to succeed in it. And with all of that, that is a huge time commitment. Yet, you still have to find time to care for yourself, to find something that you enjoy, to relax, to sleep, and to eat. And in the early years, that was difficult, to say the least. However, it's just over time that you have to learn how to deal with the time, how to manage yourself, to manage your expectations, to say, I cannot take this class, I'm going to have to find something else in order that can fit my schedule, that can fit my time commitments, what I'm willing to put into it. So that's probably the biggest challenge across the entirety of my high school life.
I see. So it's kind of there's too much stuff to do. So you need to figure out how to really balance out everything and make sure you take advantage of time and grow yourself.
Yeah, learning how to say no to activities, learning to say, I can't do this extracurricular, or I can't do this sport that I really want to do. I can't go on this trip. That's difficult, but it's something that you're going to have to learn if you want to be able to succeed.
I see. Thanks for sharing that. So another question for you. Can you share one very unique academic experience in your high school? Maybe one seminar, one class, or one homework?
Probably my favorite that sticks in my mind has to be teacher aiding. I got the opportunity both inside of the school year and during a summer course to aid for two of my teachers, Mr. House and Mr. Riddler. And that was an amazing experience for me. Probably the reason why is because they were both incredible teachers who are passionate about the subject matter. And their passion and their enthusiasm for learning for physics and international relations was contagious to me and are a huge influence in why I am choosing to go into government and international relations in college, because of the influence and the enthusiasm that was spread to me by my incredible teachers.
Thanks for sharing that. So it's a very positive experience, right?
We're very lucky here in Howard County to have some of the best teachers in the United States, and they have definitely made a difference in my life.
I'm very happy to hear that as a school board member. Do you have any experience with cyberbullying or bullying?
Cyberbullying, not so much. I don't have a large social media presence, so that I haven't been as exposed to it, but I do know it goes on, and it is a serious issue. Teenagers were very susceptible emotionally, or not emotionally matured, and those things hurt us on a deep level. And it's important to know that there are resources like the Guidance Center that we can reach out to, psychologists, to help us. But on a personal note, I was bullied in middle school extensively. It was difficult for me getting pushed around, punched, book drop, which is just you had to carry your books around and people would just smack them out of your hands. Getting different things thrown at you, getting your face shoved into water fountains, stuff like that on a regular basis. It was difficult. It hurt. And what I did wrong in that case, it's something that I would tell no one else to do, is that I kept it to myself. I internalized all of it. I blamed myself and I didn't talk about it and I shut myself off. What people should do that I didn't do is reach out to people for help, reach out to friends, reach out to family members, reach out to the guidance counselor, to teachers you trust, to people you trust. Talk about it to them, and that helps things a million times over. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me when I started opening up.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I think, unfortunately, and you really went through that yourself, and that's definitely very painful. I hope our students listen to this. If you ever experience cyberbullying or bullying, please find help. And because sometimes it's just too much. I think probably all the time it's too much for you to handle yourself as a young student.
Thank you for your kind words, but yeah, it's just a part of my life now that happened.
Sure. So because I remember you said you joined Howard County Public School System for 7 years, is that right? So is that when you first joined the school you experienced that?
It was my first time in public school in 5th grade when I moved here. Before that, I was in Baltimore. I was in the Friends school system, so the Quakers.
Because that school is a little smaller, maybe, right? And then
it's a much smaller, tight knit. So it was a kind of not a culture shock, but it was definitely different for me, learning how to interact with so many different people.
I see. Thanks for sharing that. And I feel really sorry to hear that. I hope our students listen to this and remember that if you really get bullied or cyberbullied, please remember to report that. And in the school system, we have a very robust framework to deal with that. the school system definitely want to help you. And do you want to share some extracurricular activities?
Sure, yeah. There's a couple that come to mind. The first one is my experience with It's Academic. It's a trivia team. We have it in Centennial High School, but a lot of other Howard County high schools have it, where we just hang around, answer trivia questions, go to tournaments. And I thought it was a very fun, very engaging group because everyone there is passionate and they're energetic and excited about learning, about history, about science, about whatever their specialty is. And it pushes you as someone in that community to try and to learn, to be better, to be a better person. And it was probably one of my favorite experiences in high school, learning obscure history facts, going to national and international tournaments, doing very well in them. We got 7th place in the nation at one history tournament, and teaching younger kids history and then seeing them succeed and grow up. It was very fun, very engaging, and an academically interesting and exciting experience, I have to say. The other club that I'm very passionate about is Model United Nations. It's an after-school club where they run simulations of the international body of the United Nations. And essentially what we do is we run those simulations, we are given different scenarios, and representing countries, we're forced to deal with it in new and exciting ways. And I had an amazing time in that club. I was president for 2 years, and Centennial High School, we run a very successful Model United Nations conference where I was able to bring over 300 people from across Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C. to Centennial High School for a day of those simulations. It was very engaging and probably one of my favorite leadership experiences that I've ever had in my entire life.
Cool. I feel both of them are fun and interesting. Sure. And
yeah,
congratulations on your achievement as well.
Thank you. They're important to me now, looking back on it, seeing how I grew through it, learned more things, and met a community of people that I am friends with to this day.
Thanks for sharing that. And extracurricular activity help you to learn something beyond the classroom, right? And really enlighten your passion and interest. That's very helpful.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of skills that you wouldn't get otherwise, from learning how to speak on your feet to groups of hundreds of people to writing professional papers. It's an extracurricular activity that I miss now that I'm in quarantine.
I think you will continue to be able to build different clubs in college as well, right? So hopefully you'll continue that and expand that and build your skills in the personal brand as well.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what happens with COVID-19.
Sure. So do you have any advice for incoming high school students? For example, what they should be prepared and which kind of areas they need to focus?
Yeah. What I would say almost certainly above all else is learn to manage your time and your expectations. You can't do everything in the world, everything under the sun. You can't do it and still live a happy, healthy life. Find which classes you want to take them, and find a couple, 2, maybe 3 clubs or sports that you are passionate and engaged in, and focus on them. Put your energy and effort into building yourself up in those to succeed in them, instead of being trying to be a jack of all trades and be in 10 different clubs and organizations and all that. Try and focus yourself. Find your specialty and keep hitting on that. Keep going for that forward, and build up your personal brand. And that will help you almost certainly in applying for colleges and getting into a good university. Being able to find what you are specifically interested, passionate, and successful at.
I see. Thanks for sharing that. So now let's come back to college. Why did you choose Maryland, and why you choose international relations and economics for their major. So by the way, congratulations to come to University of Maryland. I'm a Terp too.
The reason why I picked the University of Maryland, frankly, is because of money. It's a very affordable institution, and it's a decently good institution as well. It also has we're very well placed. It's very close to DC, and a lot of organizations, both international and domestic, have headquarters in DC. So there are a lot of opportunities there for internship and for education outside of the classroom. And as a Banner for Key Scholar and for in-state tuition, it was a college that I could afford easily without any worries to money. Unlike the other institutions that I was accepted at, they were more pricey. And when you're thinking about the equation, do you want to spend your money on an institution, especially with COVID-19, that you're probably going to be taking online courses at? Where is it worth to spend your resources? Especially since I'm interested in going into grad school. Mm-hmm. My eventual career goals is hopefully after going to grad school and getting a master's in international relations or economics, I hope to join the Foreign Service, the American Foreign Service in the State Department, to serve abroad as either a political analyst or an economic advisor. That's my dream and my career goal. So hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that with the path I've chosen.
I see. Thanks for sharing that. That's the question I try to ask. What's your career goal, right? And it's still a little far away, but your college preparation and your maybe graduate study will eventually lead to where you land down in the future. I really wish you good luck. Enjoy your time at University of Maryland, and good luck to your future career.
Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Okay. So, do you have any advice for HCPSS where they can improve, where they can change?
Definitely. There's one or two areas that I think Howard County public school system could improve. First thing is listening to the students. The students they have very good ideas, and they're on the ground. They know what issues affect them. And from community-led efforts to Instagram accounts to attempts to reach out to administration, to the student member of the board, they all they're cognizant of the issues, and they have good ideas on how to deal with them. And seeing those concerns addressed would be of great benefit to HCPSS as a whole, I think. The second thing is the Latino community. As a member of Black Conexiones to Latino organizations in Howard County, there are definitely some issues that we feel should be addressed and dealt with. First of all, the lack of Spanish translations is an issue, mainly because there are the immigrants and the migrants from Latin America who don't speak English or whose parents don't speak English or are ESOL students. They don't have as many resources. They don't have access to all of the information that the English-speaking people do. So, for example, like emails that are sent out don't always have Spanish translations, and there aren't a lot of Spanish translators across the 74, 75 schools in Howard County. And the Latino community definitely feels that they don't have as large of a voice because they don't have that ability to communicate in the first place.
Thank you for sharing that concern. I agree with you. We definitely need to really provide the service and the support for our immigrant community. Personally, myself is an immigrant, so I share a lot of same concern with you. And for example, I'm not speaking English very well, so I keep learning that. And at the same time, that prevented me to really engage with the school system, right? Because I'm afraid of just saying something wrong, or I just couldn't speak freely about my views, right? And that definitely prevented me to really engage with the teacher. But before, I was a board member. Now I definitely get more confidence. But I know that is a dilemma for a lot of immigrant families as well. I hope the school really put a focus there and try to help them.
It's an issue for every immigrant who comes to America because there is that communication barrier which prevents you from accessing all the resources that the government tries to provide.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you for sharing that. So do you have some closing remarks?
Um, well, all I would like to say is that my time in Howard County has been overwhelmingly a positive experience. The teachers especially have been amazing. From I already said Mr. Riddler, Mr. House, and there's so many more, countless number at Centennial High School and across Howard County that make such an impact on every student's lives. And that they are the reason that we choose to be who we choose to be. Their influence and which, as I said, has been so helpful across my 4 years here, is just remarkable. And I'd like to thank all of them. I'd like to thank my parents, and the Board of Education for listening to our concerns day in and day out.
Thank you very much, Caio. Thank you for sharing your experience and your feedback to the school system. I really appreciate your time speaking with me. For our audience, this is Dr. Tao's YouTube channel. I'm going to continue to interview our high school graduates. I want them to share their experience and share some feedback for our incoming students. I hope their experience and feedback will help you to navigate through the high school life. Thank you very much, Caio.
Thank you. No, thank
Okay.
you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Sure, I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.